Good morning, students, and welcome to our third lesson of the week. Today, we'll be looking at types of nouns. In our previous classes, we discussed what we meant by nouns, and we said there were two major types of nouns. We said there were countable and uncountable nouns. And today, we are looking at the other types of nouns. And if you're looking at this picture ahead of you, you discover that we have the different types of nouns listed there in red. We have abstract nouns, we have concrete nouns, we have pronouns, we have abstract nouns, have pronouns, have concrete nouns, we have collective nouns, we have common nouns, we have proper nouns, and a lot more. And we're going to look at their definition and what they mean and how they are used in sentences. Let's begin with proper noun. What is a proper noun? Proper noun name specific places and things. They also begin with capital letters. Always begin with capital letters, and they name specific people too. For example, we can have specific people. You can talk about specific people. Maybe you can talk about John, Peter, Smith. All of that are names of specific people. And so they begin with capital letters. And so they are called proper nouns. Oh, very good. Give me an example of a proper noun. Now that you've understood, you may call your name. Maybe your name is John. Maybe your name is John. It means John is a proper noun. So the proper noun is a noun that names people, as you've seen here. It's a noun that names people, places, months, days of the week, and they use capital letters, which means that you can maybe use the word. You could say, since we say it names people, your name could be James. I will say it also names places. You could say Boya, so it is capital B. Since it is a proper noun, it may also name months of the year. You can say July. It can also name days of the week. You could say Monday, since it is the name of a specific day of the week, capital M for the Monday, and all of them begin with capital letters. So that makes up what we call proper nouns. Now, names of specific places. You can talk about, nouns can name specific places. Maybe you can talk about Kumar. You can talk about Yaoundé, Boya, Limbe, etc. There are just many of them that you can use. Maybe this is, can talk about countries. Maybe this is Germany, America, Nigeria. There are just so many names that are given to places, and these refer to as nouns that name specific places. Now, let us look at the second type of nouns called common nouns. Common noun name things in general. As I say common, they name things that are in general. And must not be put in capital letters. Yes, name things in general that must not be put in capital letters. And also, they can also name ideas that are in general. For example, common nouns are any person, place, thing that does not need, or even the name of a city or policeman or newspaper that is not very important or that's not very specific. You can name that without using capital letters. You could talk about common nouns such as, you can talk about ball, you can talk about ball, maybe apple, maybe an apple, orange, book, pen. All of these are names of things. Table, but they are not very specific, so we call them common nouns. They name things that are not very specific. We call them common nouns, and we must not put them in capital letters. Now, so excellent, now that you know what a common noun is. Now, a common noun is a word that names objects. Okay, it names objects, for example, flask, box, and all of that. And those objects must not be put in capital letters. Let us look at the next set of nouns called collective nouns. They name things in groups. You can say a pride of lions. That is a collective noun, because so many lions that have been put together are called a pride of lions. You can also name a flock of birds, so many birds flying together. You can also talk about a flight of butterflies, a flight of butterflies. So many butterflies together are called a flight, and that is also a collective noun because it gives a name to a group of things put together. You can also talk about a prickle of hedgehogs. You can also talk about a parliament of owls, so many owls, the night birds, so many owls together. You call it a parliament of owls. A room of otters, maybe a stock of foxes, so many foxes together. A lip of salms, of parsons, a type of fish. All of this has names, and so we can say that what collective noun names groups of people brought together. You may talk about a class of students, a society, maybe a faculty that has so many departments, jury, so many lawyers together, school, so many students put together, company, so many firms brought together, government made up of so many departments, tribe made up of so many people, different types of people. So all of this represent a unit as a whole. Let us look at the next one type of noun called the abstract noun. Abstract noun name things and ideas you cannot see, you cannot touch, and also that you cannot smell. They name things that you cannot see, you cannot touch, you cannot smell. We call them abstract nouns. They give names to things that we cannot even taste, but we know that they do exist. For example, if you look at this picture, we can say that we cannot see, hear, smell, or taste, or feel. Abstract nouns because they are ideas, qualities, and feelings. Bravery, you can say somebody is brave, somebody is kind. Kindness is the name of something. Happiness is the name of something, but you cannot see it. You cannot touch it. You cannot hear it. You cannot taste it. But there are qualities and ideas and that are only feelings. You can only feel them. You only feel love. You can only feel brave. You can only feel happy. Those are names of ideas, but that cannot be touched. And so we refer to them as abstract. They are some sort of uncountable nouns. Yes, but they are described here as abstract nouns. You see, you can talk about wisdom, high sense of intelligence. You cannot see it, but it's something that somebody has that has a name. So it is called an abstract noun. Anger, bravery, all of those. We can, from this picture here, you can sort out so many types of nouns. From this other one, joy, grace, shame, anger, beauty, trouble, manners, jealousy. Those are names. Confusion, conflict, empowerment. All of these are names given to ideas, given to feelings that cannot be seen, that cannot be touched, that cannot be smelled, that cannot be tasted. We can only feel them, and we know that they do exist, and they have a name, and that is what we refer to there as abstract nouns. From this list ahead of you here, you can see a lot more of them: pain, skill, charity, belief, culture, compassion, success, company. These are very good examples of abstract nouns. Okay, we can call them examples. Examples of abstract nouns. Let's look at the next set of nouns called the concrete nouns. This is the direct opposite of the abstract noun. They name things that we can see, things that we can touch, things that we can feel, and for instance, things that we can taste. Okay, you can see a guitar, you can touch it. The things found on this picture, you can see them and you can touch them. So they are called concrete nouns. We look at this other one, you see the eye there, we see the lips, we see shoes, socks, hand, fingers. All of these are concrete nouns because we can see and we can touch them. Then we also have compound noun. Compound noun name things and ideas that have more than one word. They use more than one word to name things. For example, house. Now you can say, using the word house and the word home, you can form a lot of nouns. In this case, if you look at the one called house, we can say housework, we can say housemate, we can say housemaker, house slick, house pitch, house plant, house town, house coming, house seat, houseless. Just like homework, homemade, homemaker, homesick, home page. All of these words are called compound noun because they use more than two words. They use more than one word to name something. If you look at this picture, you discover that a combination of some two nouns can give you a concrete noun. For instance, fire and fighter. You see that we've used the word firefighter to form the word, one word, fire and fighter, to form firefighter. And firefighter therefore is a compound noun because it is formed by adding two words. We have police officer. It's one word, but it's formed through the use of police and officer. Ice cream is formed by using the word ice and cream. And so this is what we refer to as compound noun. We have car wash, milkshake, haircut. We have words like cook, book, crossroad, jump rope, hot dog, black eyes, blue jeans. All of these things have to do with compound noun. And so if we are talking about compound noun, we say that what they use two, or we can say they use two or more words to name something. It is therefore described as compound noun. It was a very interesting lesson, and I hope that we have learned a lot for the lesson of today. And for the record, what we discussed today at the beginning of today is we looked at types of nouns. We moved on to the first type of noun, proper nouns. Then we went on to give examples. Then the second was the common nouns. And then we have collective nouns. We are used to name things in group. Then we've gone on to abstract nouns, which name things and ideas that we can only feel, but we cannot see, touch, or even smell or taste them. Then we also saw concrete nouns that name things that we can see, touch, and feel. Then we also looked at compound nouns that name things using more than one word from two and above. And this brings us to the end of the lesson for the day. Thank you for your keen attention, and I hope to meet you in our subsequent lessons.